Hello and welcome to the introduction for Wordsmiths. I know a lot of you, at least at the minute, are doing, or at least trying to do online learning with your children and probably finding it a struggle. So this is some online learning that is kind of a segue, it's a sideways movement to what your child's been given from school. So my main point is that creative writing is sadly underutilised, really. I've done a bit of research and it was very disappointing. Looking at average timetables and curricula from various schools across the country, I've worked out that on average in Key Stage 3, which is 7 till 9, year 7 till 9, which is age 11 till 14ish, on average a student will have 15 minutes of independent creative writing a week. Now, okay, if you make that once a fortnight, half an hour, not too bad, but if that's the average, then what is the lower end? And at the lower end there was almost no opportunity for creative writing in the curricula that I saw. So it's disappointing, because if you look at your English language exam, which everyone has to sit at GCSE, pretty much half of both papers is writing. One will be a persuasive, instructive kind of writing, and the other one will be a creative writing task. So why schools aren't able to really get behind and enthuse over creative writing is essentially they're stuck on the technical stuff. And there is a list of things that you need to have learnt by the end of Key Stage 3. So your metaphors, similes, your structures and all that kind of thing. Which, fine, you need to teach that, but you shouldn't teach that and not do the creative bit. Because when it comes to your final exam, you'll have a student who can write a narrative piece that contains a common list, a semicolon, some sort of imagery, a metaphor, whatever. But what they've written is so empty. I've spoken to assessors who will take in hundreds and hundreds of papers, and most of the first half is going to be the same answers because everyone's talking about the same text. But when it comes to creative writing, they're hoping for something a little bit interesting. They're hoping to be able to mark at a higher band because the writing is more accomplished, more interesting, and shows more skill. And they don't necessarily get that. They'll get 2.5 pages of very technically minded writing, which is not the way to go. So that's the reason why I'm putting together these sessions. So it's once a week, there'll be a session up, and it will be partly technical because you need that technical knowledge, but the rest of it is going to be the creative writing, the actual creative bit. And that's where I'm going to place my the importance, the emphasis is on the creative part of these sessions. Because if you don't have the inspiration to write, then it can be really, really hard to get a decent written text. And if you're just trying to fill in those boxes, just tick off, I have metaphor, I have, semicolons, then yes, you'll get an okay mark, but you won't get the higher range because there's nothing to show, really. It's just a tick box. So, during my last 10 years or more, but my teacher training, I have actually collected together writing prompts. Now, I've started with about 100, and I actually ended up making up 150 individual cards for use in classrooms. But as we're not in classrooms right now, and being able to hand out and collecting plastic cards in a classroom situation at the minute, not so good. So these I have unfortunately had to retire. But in the process of retiring those, I've then collected even more prompts. So in my little prompt diary, I've got over 500. That some of them are my ideas, some of them I've borrowed from writing from other creative writers and teachers. So it's a huge collection. So I thought, okay, I'll use those, but I'm not going to use all of them because some are kind of repeated ideas, some are ideas that don't mesh in a school environment. So I've got it down to 250, which I have listed here in my book. So I have 250 here, and I actually have, well, by the time this video comes out, I should have put the list of 250 on the blog. So by all means you can dive in, you can randomly select your own one of the 250 and go with that, or you can follow me. I'm going to do one of these a week at this stage. I might end up doing 2 a week, just depends how much time I've got amongst other things. So yeah, some of these are just a descriptive task, some are kind of a very technical thing looking at structure and that kind of stuff. Some are persuasive writing, some are instructive, some are stories, so it's a good selection of prompts and things to get you going. So the way this is going to work is I'm not expecting you to sit for 3 hours and do these tasks. As it is, these videos shouldn't be more than about 10 minutes or so, but I'm going to be giving you 4 different tasks to do. So you can look at the first task, pause the video, go away and then come back. So it's easier for you, so you can do, if you've only got 15 minutes, you can do one section and then come back to the rest. That's completely fine. So I'm starting with kind of a starter task, which is what you would normally have in a classroom, and that's going to be something somewhat technical. Okay, so you have to start with something technical, and that's going to help with the next bit. And then you've got the second part is the idea, is the way of building the story or the narrative or whatever you're doing. And then your third part is obviously the writing, which is kind of up to you. And then at the end, I'm going to put in a couple of questions for you to think and reflect on your work. There's no point in just kind of writing and not ever going back on it. So the idea of reflection is to find where you think you could do better. Okay, it's all down to you, all your honest kind of appraisal. If you want, you can share it with friends. You can put it onto the blog post for that task, and I will do a feedback for you. Your teachers might accept kind of a quick bit of feedback, they might not, that's fine. They're rather busy at this moment in time. So yeah, if you want feedback from me, you can put it onto the blog post. You don't have to leave your name, just keep it anonymous if you want to, that's entirely up to you, if you're kind of embarrassed about it or whatever. If you want to comment on someone else's work, by all means, but any kind of negative, unnecessarily critical comments will be deleted and you'll be blocked. Okay? This isn't a forum for trolls, it's a forum for people who want to develop their craft and their art. And what I'm going to do with the blog posts for each of these tasks is I will put down what I've done. And by all means you can excuse me, you can critique me, you can comment on mine, you can redo mine if you really want to. It's entirely up to you, it's your process. If you find it easier to look at someone else's work and think how you would do it better, that's fine, that's perfect. This is all about analysing and seeing where you are, but also enjoying the process, because if it's not enjoyable, why bother? So what I've got, instead of drawing cards, is a pot full of raffle tickets. So I could have just done a random number generator, but I think this is better for me because once I've pulled a ticket out, I'm going to stick it in my workbook so I don't end up putting that one twice. So that way I don't have to keep track of who's been through the process, essentially. So what I do is I just slightly open the lid and shake the box.